reason. I don't know. Maybe when it overheated the other day, it permanently impaired my phone. Who knows? Maybe I'm just watching too much TikTok. My phone garden uses too much. Okay, anyway, so yeah, we went to Near's Tavern. Shout out to my man. I speak for Barbaloots, the host. It was dope. It was really cool. They had like a live collage. It was very creative. It was a great creative atmosphere. I met this really cool painter who had this amazing book with all of her paintings and poems. And so they had like a collage station with like glue sticks and magazines where, like, during the open mic you could make a collage. I love that kind of stuff. Live painting. And then there was a jam at the end for anybody who wanted to get up there. I mean, we didn't bring a guitar or anything, so there wasn't a whole lot we could do. But I love that kind of stuff. I love, using it as a site to create creativity and create brain activity and just get people, firing in that way, drawing, thinking of poetry, because then they're going to take that into the rest of their lives. And it's just evidence. I mean, the more objects, I mean, especially in this world of just everything's disappearing, everything is I do think it's the Matrix. I think the Matrix is I've become a conspiracy talk person. Like these Apple Vision Pro things, right? These headsets with, like, you can put your computer in it and shit. It's only a matter of time before we're just living in that. When the whole outer world is just completely atrophied and destroyed and polluted and trashed, and we're just, it's just garbage world. The physical reality doesn't matter so much. They can create, I guess, an abundance for everybody in the computer. But I don't know. I like real life. We are the last human beings before the internet. Really, we are the last people that knew what it was like before America Online. Before America went online. And we will never go back offline, I guess. Who knows? Unless there's some kind of massive solar flare. But so anyway, I do think that, not to pollute the world any more than it has been, but making a real individual human object with people's ideas and stuff in there, collaboration. Yes. I love that. I love that. That's the kind of funky energy that New York is missing a lot of the time. It doesn't have that kind of community center, like arts and crafts, live, dada, uh, house show, kind of art collective, kind of pop and fizz, snap, crackle, and pop of the creativity and the chemistry. New York is just so sanitized, so corporate, so CGI, phone, invisible. Everything's a fucking TikTok video. Everything's a fucking reel. It's all intangible. It's all extremely online. That's why I make the books with real staples and paper. I mean, even that I heard recently. Guess where? They're gonna make printing like a subscription-based service. This is what they want to move everything towards. This is part of what I feel like. What I'm saying is, like, this feels like a concerted effort to just disempower all of us as from ever moving up, where everything is going to be rent. Nobody will own it, right? It's already, everything's in the cloud, right? Nobody owns anything. You have a subscription to fucking Netflix. You have a subscription to fucking Spotify. You have, now it's like you want to watch the fucking Super Bowl. It's like, oh, you got to have a subscription to Paramount Plus or whatever. So, it's all, but, this really pissed me off with video editing programs, right? Because it used to be you'd pay $300, you get Final Cut Pro, and that's it. You own a fucking CD, and no matter what happens, you always have Final Cut Pro because you fucking paid for it. Then, in I don't even remember, it was around 2015, 16, somewhere in there, they switched to a subscription-based service. Adobe Premiere, right? It used to be you could have Adobe Premiere 6, 7, whatever, and you just had it on your. I used to use Premiere, and then they went to subscription based. I don't think Final Cut is subscription based, but Premiere, it's like, right, Adobe. Now you have to pay an annual fucking fee, and then you get access to all of their shit or whatever it is. It's like, to me, that I can't do that. You know, they're pulling us into a more and more financialized society, and they're just forced. You know, it's either that or you go to jail or you don't have a job. You know, it's like what's your alternative? I mean, for me, I've been using Final Cut Pro X for the last 10 fucking years, 12 fucking years, because I can't afford for a fucking Adobe. You know, this kind of thing has, you know, disabled me a lot in my life. Not being able to afford a new lens, a new camera. I can't even afford a fucking SD card, right? I mean, granted, I'm lazy, but there's not that much work out there, right? For video people, it's all about who you know. You got to get in there. You got to do a good job. That's not always easy. Now everybody's kind of a fucking videographer in a certain way. Um, that's one of the jobs of the I mean, not even the future now. You know, it's just like YouTuber, content creator, whatever, influencer. And so anyway, yeah, we're on this kind of rent. You can't own a house. You can't buy a house. You got to rent your house. You got to rent fucking Adobe Premiere. You got to rent. You know, you can buy your movies on Apple Prom, you know, store. You can buy your movies on iTunes. You can buy your movies on, or you can rent them. You know, so it's like you don't own anything. There's nothing tangible. Uh, who knows what's going to happen with books? So the idea that printing would go, like, I own a fucking printer, right? I bought it. I paid for it. The idea that I would have to pay them a yearly subscription to fucking use it, to me, that doesn't fly. I mean, my whole life I've always tried to hold on to, you know, like a printer. Even though most people probably would view a printer as being obsolete, it's like it's kind of a useful thing to have, right? In the same way that, like, a typewriter is kind of a nice thing to have, or even, you know, a word processor. I talked about this, or like even old laptops and shit. You know, it's like all technology is a bridge to further technology, and I don't know. It's like just because it's old doesn't mean it's not worth having. You know, this is another thing in our society. It's just like everything is planned obsolescence. Everything is like you gotta have the newest fucking thing. You gotta, you know, it's made to go to break after when your contract is up or when your mortgage is paid. Uh, this is one thing that I think about TikTok is different. China is a communist country, I think. I mean, whatever the fuck it is. It's like it seems like their value system and their incentives are different than here, right? Where it's just like it's not about quality at all here. It's about shareholder value. I think we all know this now. Is like the companies are purely just there to make money for the shareholders. This is why our whole society is fucking crumbling, because it's like there's no value in anything. There's no incentive to put value in anything because, you know, now it's like with these movies, right? They're just destroying the movies rather than releasing them because they make more money if they destroy the movie. Like this Looney Tunes movie that is supposed to be pretty good. This Looney Tunes movie with Will Forte, it's supposed to be pretty good, actually. They're just going to literally destroy the movie because they're going to make more money that way. Which, to be fair, first of all, I'm not even sure that that's true. Like, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen 10 or 15 years from now. You know, suddenly that Looney Tunes movie might be worth shitloads of money, you know? It's pretty fucking short-sighted, if you ask me. This happened to a couple other movies, right? Like the Supergirl movie, I think. It's hard to believe that in the era of, you know, ultra sensitive, especially in Hollywood, kind of wokeness, they could get away with like shelving the Batgirl movie. What I don't even you know, it was one of those movies. It's like, what does this say about our society that, you know, the apartments are worth more empty than with people living in them. The stores are worth more empty than with businesses in them. The movies are worth more if you destroy them and don't even release them. Even after spending, you know, $80 million on it or whatever the fuck. Oh, we just gotta destroy it. It's worth more if we destroy it. That makes no fucking sense. Like, something is wrong. Something is very wrong here. But I bet you could fix it. You know, it's all, the thing is, the problem is all in like these little laws and shit. It's in like little zoning laws. It's in like little laws that say you can't do stockholder buybacks, or you can't own multiple companies, or you can't own multiple radio stations, or you can't own multiple. You know, this is what I was thinking about. I had this kind of epiphany the other day. It's like, you know, music in the early 90s was actually pretty good. You know, I remember everybody talks about Woodstock 99. Everybody remembers Woodstock 99 because it was like this violent, gross, like hot, just you know, debacle. But Woodstock 94 was actually pretty cool. I know I sound like an old hippie when I say this. I sound like an old miniature hippie, but Woodstock 94 was actually pretty cool. Um, you know, even the bands were hard. It wasn't really about the music not being, it was just like it was still, the music was just still good. You know, Green Day was fucking good. Nine Inch Nails was fucking good. Willie Nelson was fucking good. You know, Ice Cube. Fucking, you know, it was like there was a lot going on and it was all good shit. It was a good vibe. Music was still fucking good, you know. Think about Dr. Dre, fucking The Chronic, Snoop Dogg, you know, music was still fucking good kind of in the early 90s. Blues Traveler, you know, there was all kind of funky human shit. There was kind of a return of like guitars. There was like kind of a new natural sound that happened in the 90s. Blind Melon, even the Red Hot Chili Peppers were good. That's how good the vibe was in the early 90s. Even the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Beastie Boys, you know, Sabotage, all that shit was actually fucking progressive. You know, what the Beastie Boys were doing was very experimental in a way and groundbreaking and new. And then something happened. I know I sound like a fucking old hippie, and maybe I'll just keep doing this, but like the value, right, MTV changed. MTV was the predominant purveyor of music, and they did play music videos. Beavis and Butthead was on MTV. It was good shit. And then it became you know, The State was on MTV. Fucking Singled Out. Kurt Loder, you know. I loved fucking MTV in the early 90s. The Head, you know, Liquid Television was dope. That Big Giant Head show, you know, was incredible. There was a funky kind of feel to you know, sort of a beat almost. Experimental New York, East Village funky kind of thing going on MTV. And then TRL and kind of the Disneyfication, popification, corporatification, Pepsi, Britney, NSYNC, Backstreet. Everything was a boy band. Everything was, it felt like Mickey Mouse Club all of a sudden. And it felt very produced. It felt very slick. It felt very packaged. It felt like white people trying to do like Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. They were trying to recreate that kind of pop iconography with like white people from the Disney Channel. You know, let's get fucking these Disney fucking club kids that we fucking kidnapped when they're children in this nationwide like talent search to find, the most marketable fucking charismatic children. Thank God I wasn't a child star or even an adult star. I do think that they do use these people and own these people. Ryan Gosling, these people, Britney, Justin Timberlake, JC Chazé, they were all in the Mickey Mouse Club. I remember watching that show when I was fucking 7 years old or whatever. They get to these fucking people early. Nickelodeon, this Dan Schneider guy, a whole generation of fucking kids grew up with iCarly and Drake and Josh and all this shit. It's like that dude, all that. Look at Amanda Bynes, okay? Look at Amanda Bynes and tell me that Nickelodeon isn't evil. But in the 90s, the vibe, it was Doug, it was Rugrats. There was something that was still a little cool about it. Something happened in the mid 90s and the late 90s. All Clear Channel bought all the radio stations, and they just started forcing this music down our throat that was so fake and so like top down and processed and digital and perfect, in sync. What kind of fucked up psyop is Justin Timberlake? How did they convince an entire generation of people that this guy was the hottest guy? And like this amazing pop star. Like this, people will buy anything. People will believe anything if there's enough smoke and mirrors, enough publicity. We just trust, oh, MTV's cool. They know what's cool. They wrote, some Swedish people wrote these fucking pop songs that are like perfectly calibrated beats per minute, and the chorus drops at 40 seconds, or the pre-chorus, whatever the fuck it is, the pre-cum. Dr. Luke and Max, fucking whatever the guy's name is. These guys have written every hit song from Britney to like Taylor and on. They've written Terry Styles shit. They wrote Baby One More Time. They wrote fucking Shake It Off. They wrote all of it. These Swedish guys have written like all of the Since You've Been Gone. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's like there isn't like a culture of music where like interesting music arises from like scenes anymore. It's just like corporate mandated pop music for you. You must like Taylor. I mean, I will say this, like, at least for young women today, they have role models that write and play their own fucking material. Like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, all these amazing women songwriters. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it. Phoebe Bridgers. You have to like her. You're not a feminist if you don't like these artists, okay? You're a fucking incel, okay? If you don't like Boy Genius, okay? You're a fucking soy boy. Or I don't know. You're a soy boy if you do like him, I guess. You can't win. You're either a soy boy or an incel. Or a cuck or a simp. You just can't win. These are the four male genders. Cuck, simp, incel, simp. That's all. Those are your options, the man today. Take your pick. Choose your fighter. So anyway, Dan Schneider impregnated Britney Spears' sister. Look it up. I'm not afraid to say it on my live stream, okay? I don't care if they try to send people after me. If the Nickelodeon... It goes all the way up, okay? This goes all the way to the top, okay? Epstein's Island. What the fuck was I saying? Oh, yeah. So at least for young women today, their role models are like songwriters. Even if they date... Okay, I will say... I do want to say... I do have to speak on the Super Bowl because it was just disgusting. Just a disgusting... Apparently it was the most watched television... Give me a fucking break already. Like, what an adolescent fantasy. I think here's the thing: is like it's not even about people. It's all superficial. It's like the dude is 6'5". He won the Super Bowl. He's fucking rich. He's got a beard. It's all bullshit. It's all just it's all people judge. Okay, this is something I wanted to say, and I know this doesn't sound like the most profound thing in the world, but I think it does need to be said, is like people judge you based on the way that you look. It's that fucking simple. Okay, they assume things about you based on the way you look, period. Okay, and that includes race, obviously. Unfortunately, that's kind of the most egregious assumption that people will make about people. But just however you look, that's what people, they believe the fucking costume you're wearing. And these people are just empty. They're just dating each other because it looks good. It looks good. It's the ultimate prom king, prom queen. It's Taylor Swift lives in this high school. I heard this thing about famous people get arrested at whatever age they became famous. They kind of freeze in that age forever. Like Michael Jackson, right, being an example. For some reason, the way that people treat them changes when they become famous. And so they don't really develop, I guess, maybe the same way as the rest of us. This is kind of the theory. I don't know if that's why Taylor Swift acts the way that she acts. And I don't, not to pay any more lip service to this, but okay, I do want to say this, and maybe this is a TikTok thing as well, but like it does feel like it was fixed. Okay? It felt like sports entertainment in a way. Okay? It's like it's all about advertising fucking money. Period. I called it. You can ask Ashley. When we were watching it, we watched it in a couple of different bars on campus. And look at how many young women were there watching the fucking game. Okay? First of all, how often, okay, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe women watch the Super Bowl every fucking year. I guess they probably do. I'm not being sexist. I'm not saying women don't watch football. But when I was in those bars on Columbia campus and I looked around the fucking room, everybody in those goddamn bars were smart young women watching the fucking Super Bowl. And like, gee, I wonder why. Because their god leader, their god emperor decreed it. And it's all about money. I called it. I said in the fourth quarter, I said they're going to go to overtime and Kansas City will win in overtime. Because it's more fucking advertising money. They know they've got this audience hooked. The game was very low scoring, right? And toward the end, it was just so strategic. It did not feel exciting at all. It just felt like they were playing out like drills, to be honest. It felt like I was watching fucking drills. It felt like they were running like a 2-minute drill. And I called it. I was like, they're going to go to overtime and Kansas City's going to win in overtime because they want to create a dynasty in Kansas City. Okay? Kansas City's got 2 championships. They've got these stars. They've got Mahomes. He's supposedly one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. And they've got this fucking, we all know the other motherfucker. The guy who stole Taylor. The son of a bitch who stole Taylor. I think I speak for everybody in America. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay? Jokes, people. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I watched this video, Michael Franchese talking about how they fix sports. Because these guys, look at Michael Jordan, man. Look at how much money that motherfucker has lost on fucking gambling. Pardon my French. Look at how much money Michael Jordan has lost on gambling. And just Google Michael Jordan and gambling. Or Charles Barkley. Or fucking Pete Rose for that matter. God bless Pete Rose. He was wrongfully accused. He should be in the Hall of Fame. The Baseball Hall of Fame is a joke at this point. It's baseball. They've been cheating since time immemorial. There's a fucking there was this thing. It was Walt Whitman, I think, talking about baseball, and he said he didn't like pitchers had started to use like curves and fastballs in like 1890s trick pitches, and he said he didn't like that because the pitcher's job was all the pitcher was for was to help the batter put the ball in play, and they did not like the pitchers trying to beguile the batters with their pitches. It's like they've been cheating forever. Okay, the game has been evolving. Let's say. So anyway, they all gamble. Not all of them, but like it's sports. Look at online fucking gambling. Look at the huge rollout that there's been. When I had that fucking TV, when I lived on 21st Street, that thing was nothing but bad commercials. Commercials for just evil stuff. And one of the things that most of the ads I saw were for fucking online gambling. MGM Grand, bet online. Yeah, this is a great idea. And then there's a fucking, at the end of the commercial real fast, if you have a gambling addiction, call 1-800-GAMBLERS Anonymous. I think you fucking made it. You put a fucking slot machine in their pocket. You put a bookie in their pocket. That should be illegal. There should not be fucking online gambling on your phone. Absolutely not. That's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. And so, it's not hard for me to believe that these athletes get in debt, okay? And so what Michael Franchese said basically is if an athlete gets in too deep, they owe you $500,000 or whatever, and they can't pay you, well, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to shave a couple of points, so we can beat the spread or whatever. It's like, this is not hard for me to believe. I mean, maybe this is conspiracy thinking. You just think everything. I mean, it's a little hard for me to believe Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls after 9/11 on a team called the Patriots, and he was married to Giselle. He was a mediocre athlete. He was not an exceptional athlete at all. Look at his fucking number. It's just like, maybe I've lost my fucking mind, but like I don't necessarily know that the whole fucking game is scripted. I wouldn't say that. But okay, part of this I would say is just from let's say doing shows, you do realize that like you have to give the audience a good show or they won't watch. And so to some degree I think with these sports there's too much money involved. There's too much money involved in the fucking Super Bowl especially. It's famous for the fucking commercials. How fucked up is that? That's how bad they've indoctrinated people in this event. It's built into the event that you stayed glued to watch the fucking commercials. To see ads for huge brands, evil corporations, big celebrities selling out, trying to stay relevant. Because they know people are going to be watching. And to be honest, commercials are one of the premier American art forms, actually. And so that's the showcase, right? There's a lot of fucking money and a lot of, artists who work in... I mean, look at Tim and Eric fucking do TV commercials. Wes Anderson does fucking TV. This is how they pay for their fucking lifestyles. They get paid millions of dollars to do an American Express commercial. They get to, it's like a little sketch. They get to try stuff out. They get to work with actors. They get to try, maybe new technology, whatever. Get to work in a little different size, different medium. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's not hard for me to believe that maybe it's fixed. I do think Usher's dope. I'm glad they got Usher because, you know, in the musical wasteland that has been my generation, Usher was one of the few fucking swaggy, rizzed out. I mean, I still think Usher's stuff is dope. I mean, yeah, that song was everywhere, man. That song was huge. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing that fucking song. Doo 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 doo. Dude, you heard that song every fucking place. I loved OMG. DJ's Got Us Falling in Love Again. Usher was dope. Papers, one of the greatest songs ever written. Definitely one of the greatest songs ever written about divorce. What's that one? You Remind Me. Usher's great. I didn't see the halftime show, but I approve of Usher. Uh, but why couldn't it be Taylor? Now that would have been the ultimate, like, Taylor Swift has a teenage imagine. It's like in the video. You know, if you go watch the video for You Belong to Me, it's like she's had this fantasy since she was 12 or something. She had to make it come true on just like the biggest scale. You know, Taylor and Travis Kelsey, the super talls, the super capitalists, the super winners, the Super Bowl dynasty, 3-time winners. Of course, Taylor has to. You know, these women are all status obsessed. This is what drives me nuts. And I do want to talk about this, okay? Women are just so. They're obsessed with status. And. Oh, God. It's just. I don't know. They throw you away so fast. If you're not interesting to them, I don't know. I've had women recently, they come up to me, they're super excited to talk to me or whatever because they know me from being a host and they come to the show. And then within 2 sentences of talking to me, they cannot get out of there fast enough. And I have no idea why. You know, and I'm not even talking about this like in a sexual way or at all. I'm talking about just in a conversational friendly way. You know, whereas like I don't know. It just feels like women feel like they have the right to, and not all of them, not all of them. It's like you see the smoke trails as they flee. And granted, I'm out of practice. I don't spend that much time around women, and I haven't for a long time. But I don't know. It just feels like you know, did they think we're serial killers? It's like that. This is something that I also think is like a little bit of a psyop, since that's what we're talking about today. Is like these fucking serial killer podcasts. It's just like women just like listen to these fucking things, or they watch Dexter, or whatever the fuck it is, and they don't give us the benefit of the doubt about anything. They just think that we are. I don't know. Well, they think what if they have a conversation with us, they get the ick very easily. I don't know. Whatever it is, like I'm a pretty good conversationalist, I'd like to think. I'm a pretty easy person to talk to. And yet, I don't know. They flee. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know. I'm not sure what that's about. Well, that's another thing, is you just have no idea why, you know. Okay, this is something I wanted to talk about, and okay, I know this is like a huge fucking, oh God. How have I forgotten how to do this? Have I forgotten how to live stream? I used to just talk for hours and hours and hours. Now it's like I get nervous if people are watching. I get nervous if people aren't watching. I feel like I don't want to offend anybody that's going to watch in the future if I say something bad about women. But it's like, oh God, guys, we've just been so, uh, okay, I saw um, an article about this guy who was, and this is something that's happening with a lot of college endowments too, is like Les Wexner, right? Took all his money out of Harvard because he didn't like the way that they weren't cracking down on people who were anti-Israel, right? He didn't like the way they were letting the pro-Palestinian people sort of get away with, especially in the wake of the October 6th thing. And so there was this article, I forget who the guy was, but it was like he's a left-wing billionaire, right? And we're all at the mercy of our billionaire gods because they're the real winners. They're the super genetic predators who, they deserve to pass their DNA code on. The rest of us just deserve to die. So they're re-engineering the world, so we do. They're feeding us, synthetic foods. And so anyway, it was talking about how this guy had taken all of his money out of basically woke causes because of the break with Israel and then the perceived anti-Semitism, right? Because a lot of the woke people are pro-Palestine, right? Because that they're that's just what it is. They're human beings. I don't know. Well, I don't know. It is what it is. But they're also very vocal about it, right? That's the thing. It's not, once again, it's not like the politics with wokeness that, like, I think, at least the thing that, like, drives me nuts about it. It's like the hard line messaging. It's like all of these people, they're all tweeting the same fucking thing. They're all sharing the same fucking thing in their Instagram stories. They all say the same fucking thing when they get up, and it's like, okay, maybe it needs to be said, and maybe they are using their platform for good, but I also it feels fascist, just like the hard line you have to do, or just the way they're all doing it, right? And if you go against it, you are you're anti, you're a bigot, you're whatever. Um, but that being said, well, so anyway, the guy took all of his money, and so this is a split I think we're seeing with you're definitely seeing it in New York. um I don't know. To me, it is like it's the opposite of class reductionist. This is something I've talked about on my live stream before. Is like you don't want to be class reductionist and say that race or gender doesn't matter, because it definitely does, but it feels like it has become the opposite, where it's like um woke reductionist, you know, where it's like that's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if you were born rich, or you're a nepo baby. It's like if you're not white, well, you're not privileged. All white people are privileged, which, like, it feels a little bit insulting to hear that, growing up uh poor, for lack of a better word. It doesn't feel great to be told that you are, privileged or whatever. And that's not to say you don't acknowledge there is definitely white privilege. There absolutely is. But I don't know, man. We have been so fucked over economically in the same amount of time. In the past years where there has been progress made, maybe in the identity politics, for lack of a better term, there has been equal, destruction done to us financially as a fucking as a country. Maybe certain people got to feel good because they won prizes, or they got jobs, or they got to feel special because they got attention for a few years. But, like, they have literally leveled the entire population of this country economically into, like, being working poor like that in the same amount of time. And no one has said shit about it. Everybody's been fucking, nitpicking about gender bathrooms and shit. Gender neutral bathrooms. It's like, l- look at where you were financially, economically 10 years ago, or maybe in 2010, and let's say 2011, and look at where you are now. Look at where all of us are. You can't afford a fucking apartment. You can't afford a place to live. You can't afford a fucking Big Mac. A extra value meal costs fucking $15. Like, these, we are in this fucking perverse society where the economy drives everything. And so we are forced to think in these terms and to evaluate and to live on these terms. We need fucking money, right? To live. And that is freedom. The people in the 50s and the 60s, when they had more spending power, they had more freedom. I mean, not everybody. I'm not saying, make America great again or anything, but now everybody is working five fucking jobs. They can't afford to make ends meet. I don't know. Maybe certain people are doing great. I don't ever, everybody who's single and has no kids, double income, no kids or whatever it is. The dinks. Uh I think there is like a re-engineering of society happening. It's like if you make, but even these tech jobs, right? Like what is going to happen? The programmers, the coders are going to get fucking what? Are just the super billionaires? They're going to get to fucking like Elon Musk. How many kids does this motherfucker have? It's like the guy. Oh, he just had twins with his fucking chairman, somebody on his board, last year, and then he had Grimes had another secret baby, and it's like Jesus fucking Christ. So is that how it's gonna be? People who can afford to have tons of kids, oh, they deserve to have kids. But the society is. This is kind of what Ice Cube was saying about the gangster rap thing. He was saying the people that own the record companies own the prisons. They own the private prisons. So they want to inspire a certain lifestyle that puts people into fucking prison. And it's not about, he's like, it's not about being there when you're writing the song. It's about making sure which songs get through. I think our society has been engineered so that certain things are incentivized and get to survive, and certain things die. They're disincentivized, and they're very strategic about how this breaks down. They want to disincentivize community and poetry and fraternity and people bonding and people having sex and men and women liking each other and being able to have conversations and be turned on by each other and not need to date, you know, fucking Super Bowl champions to be happy. But certain things get through and certain things don't. I mean, with social media, they can micromanage exactly the haves and have nots and the jealousies. And look, this person doing this and you're not there. And this person liked it and aren't you jealous? And this person didn't look at your story and this person blah, blah, blah. Uh, they can decide that no one will ever watch my YouTube stream. you know, they can decide that my truth will never get out because why would they incentivize this? They want to incentivize people watching war games. They want to incentivize people live streaming themselves playing the most mind numbing, brain dead activity. People live streaming fucking Call of Duty, murder simulations, mass murder simulations, war simulations. They don't want to incentivize the poetry live stream. They want to incentivize the stream of consciousness. Oh, stream of, that's just rambling. That's just who wants to hear that? That's cringe. That's mid. People are hungry for the truth. I don't know, but they don't want it. They want, I don't. Well, we're being told that we want Billie Eilish. We're being told that we want Taylor Swift. We're being told that we want these Nickelodeon stars, Miley. We're being told that we want this. They're better than us. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're better looking, they're more, in pitch. They're better writers. They're taller, they're sexier. They're richer. They're funnier. I don't know. They can play the game better. It's belittling. It feels like with TikTok they are trying to re-educate towards some, but it doesn't feel insidious. It feels like there is a campaign in this country that is very against socialism. They do not want socialism here. They want capitalism, but there's very few people that do. All of the capitalists want capitalism, so they spend a lot of fucking time and money enforcing that belief on down through violence, through constant indoctrination, through shit like the Super Bowl, through shit like Taylor Swift, where it's just they want you to compete and try harder and get stronger and work longer and accept less money and accept pain and accept wearing a uniform and wearing a fucking logo and being a part of the team and doing your role. And they don't want socialism. They don't want wealth redistribution. That's it. What it is. That's all it is, really. That's all it fucking is a little bit of wealth redistribution. And like and having like a public infrastructure and like a sense, I think everybody wants that. This country, people really don't realize, and I think it's like I said, especially over the last 40 years. I mean, the whole time, there's been slavery. It has been a joint stock company. That's what it is. Take it for what it is. Take it for what it is. There's this awesome part of the Guns N' Roses song "You Used to Love Her" where Axl Rose, he just goes, "Take it for what it is." That's my new favorite thing. That's my new motto. Take it for what it is. That should be on the American flag. Take it for what it is. Because that's what they've been asking us to eat, a shit sandwich for the last 250 years, okay? Take it for what it is. It's going to be the 250th anniversary, right? In like 2 years. God bless the USA. Take it for what it is. You can't make a living, but you can make a killing. Take it for what it is. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so I do think they kind of overthrew the government. They went in and they snipped certain cables that they wanted to kill. They wanted to kill public well-being in this country, and they did. They wanted everybody to be desperate and have to work so we don't die. There are so many ways to die I've had a tooth infection for like 6 months. My Medicaid just came through on February 1st, and I'm afraid to go. But I've literally had a toothache for like 6 months because of this country. Because of this slave work camp they call the United States of America. We're literally like, there's a few people at the top. Take it for what it is. Who are enforcing this, look at all the dumb, brutal, all the football players, all the country ass, all the people with the guns. These people are like pit bulls. They're like trained attack fighting dogs. And they are loyal to the flag, to the country, to the Constitution, to Fox News, whatever Fox News is telling them the Constitution is, to capitalism, to. And they don't want socialism. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want you on their land. They don't want you, the government interfering with them. They want small government. They've been totally brainwashed with religion, with football, pro life, drink beer, chewing tobacco, go hunting, drive a pickup truck, wear camouflage, blah, blah, blah. We all know. And so, tell you what it is. They're obedient. You know, they fight the wars. These people are willing to go, you know, look at Toby Keith. That's what this country does to people, you know? It's carcinogenic. Uh some of us just want to live, you know? Like it makes sense to me in a supposed democracy where all people are created equal, blah blah blah. We should have socialism. There should be a public infrastructure to go along with like the public. You know, if we want everybody to vote, everybody should be educated. Everybody should be taken care of. Everybody should have a you know life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Right? Isn't that what the fuck they said? Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Job doesn't mean liberty. Working 80 hours a week, that doesn't mean liberty. Life? Who has a life anymore? Nobody has a life. Do you have a life? People have jobs. They have TV shows they watch. Pursuit of happiness. That to me means free time. That to me means having a second home, having a boat, being able to travel, being able to write books, being able to read. Pursuit of happiness, right? Means having a little extra. Life, liberty, pursuit of, to me that screams universal basic income. That screams healthcare. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness for everybody. Yes, we love it. So let's let's redistribute the wealth. This is the most infuriating fucking part. This is the wealthiest country that has ever fucking existed, and yet the past 5 years they have taken the middle class and ba-boom brought us down to the basement. Just so people could buy super yachts, just so they could, watch their follower count go up, essentially. It's the same thing. Oh, my bank account went up. There's people in the sub-basement. If you're not in the working poor, you're in jail, and then you're just a slave because you're in jail and you're making bras or whatever for 19 cents an hour. So anyway, this is what needs to change. I don't know. I do think, yeah, this is something Jon Stewart said. First of all, I think good for Jon Stewart for going back on the Daily Show. What else? What else was he gonna do? I think he feels primed. He wants to get in the conversation. His show, he kind of got screwed over, or whatever. And the Daily Show was kind of I think he loves the Daily Show, and he wants to take care of it. But yeah, and it kind of tanked when Trevor Noah left. And I want to talk about Trevor Noah too, because I do think Trevor Noah is like kind of an exemplar of the era, in that he could just walk away from that show and he didn't even, it's like he didn't even fucking care. It's like, this is a guy who I think we're supposed to perceive as like, at least in our culture, it's like you're sort of perceiving like he's not privileged, right? He's not white. He's not privileged. He's like he's marginalized, or he's a minority. But it's like, I saw Trevor Noah walking down, and he said he before the Daily Show, he was making millions of fucking dollars a year as a stand-up comedian, traveling the world doing stand-up, right? So he was already successful. He's tall, he's good looking. I saw Trevor Noah walking in the West Village. He was walking down Hudson, and women were literally fucking turning around in their seats. They were all talking about him. Oh my God, he's so cute. These women have been fucking brainwashed. Okay? Not that he isn't cute. I mean, he is cute. Okay? I think we all objectively can agree Trevor Noah is cute, okay? He's got dimples, he's tall. But they're also allowed to say that because they can feel good about themselves. I mean, he's smart, he's well spoken, he's eloquent, he's got a great job, he's rich, he's successful, but he's also not a white guy. You know? That's one of the reasons why he's so fucking successful. It's not just that he's talented. Like, we're not denying any of that stuff. There's a lot of these people they are all talented. You know, people who are winning prizes, who are, you know, they're talented fucking people. But it also just becomes obvious to the fucking people who are making these choices. Like, I'm going to go with the person that is not white. Because it's like progressive. You know, it's like, oh, I'm doing the right thing because, you know, and to be honest, it felt like Trevor Noah did not take that job. He took it for granted. It felt like he didn't appreciate it, let's say. Like somebody who would have had to work their way up and earn the fucking job. Not that he didn't earn it, but the struggle, I don't know. I do think that there's some truth that, like, I mean, certain people are getting screwed over, or, you know, the way that these choices are, and, you know, that's life. It's, you know, in the past, you know, like, obviously, women have been screwed over for thousands of fucking years, right? Minorities have been screwed over, so it's like, okay, boo-hoo, some fucking people get screwed over, but it's like, it's also, if we're living in a supposed meritocracy and we're not making decisions based on what the best fucking thing is, our society is going to break down, right? Like, it's just like we've lost sight of like functionality. I think that is like maybe a product of surplus of comfort or something. You know, like America had so much wealth, it had so much prosperity, it had so much comfort after World War II through the 50s, 60s, into the 70s when they took us off the gold standard and everything kind of went awry and they moved the manufacturing out and blah, blah, blah. I think people, you know, it's like, I don't know. I don't, you know, this is something with my own life, and not to use my live stream as like a constant way to complain about and whine, but like, you know, I do feel like I didn't really get like mentorship or guidance. No one went out of their way to help me, really, at all. Like I've seen older white people do with, you know, people that aren't white guys, let's say. You know, there's no reason to go out of your way to help me because I am supposedly the beneficiary of so much privilege, right? Because of the way I look or whatever. But I do feel like I've had to teach myself everything. And I have no fucking money and I have no resources. And so whatever success I have, I thank myself. You know, I've been in New York for like 15 years and like I haven't won any fucking prizes. I haven't won any fucking contests. Not that I entered any, but nobody invited me. No one said, "Hey, you're pretty interesting. Let me spend some time with you. Let me take an interest." My friend Greg Masters. Shout out to Greg Masters. He was a good influence. But the New York City poetry community can go fuck itself, as far as I'm concerned. Not that I, you know, I'm good, or I'm a cantankerous person or whatever. But I don't know. I definitely they're stuck up. They're uptight. They're overly sensitive. They're self-important. They have this air of wealth and superiority, especially uptown, especially at Columbia University. I think it is it's a way to differentiate between the classes. If you don't wealthy people can afford to be disagreeable, they can afford to be smarmy, they can afford to have that stiff upper lip. They can look down their nose at you. Poor people can't do that. Poor people are just folks. Okay, we're like Dusty Roads. We're just down home. We're good, we take care of our own. We're affable, we're hospitable, we're nice. Rich people hate that. They don't want that. They don't want when you're nice to people, they get why? You're obviously like a loser. You obviously have nothing. Why don't you have any boundaries? You know who doesn't have boundaries? Poor people. You know why? Because we can't afford to have boundaries. The boss tells you what your fucking boundaries are. Okay? Your boundaries are 7.25 an hour and 40 plus hours a week. Those are your fucking boundaries. So fuck anybody who's ever told me that I don't have boundaries. Women are constantly telling me, "Oh, you don't have boundaries." So, you know how many women have slept with me one time and then never talked to me again? And they didn't ghost me. They all have a conversation with me that's like, okay, well, once they find out I'm a bitter loser and I'm not who I look like I am, then they don't want to be around me anymore. They don't want to hear my cranky monologue about how the world is being socially engineered to collapse and how poetry sucks. Because they have been given fucking things because they're hot. It's easy for middle-aged guys to be like, yes, I want to take this hot young white woman under my wing who's bisexual. She's such a good poet. Bonus points if you're not white. I'm sorry, this might sound ugly and bitter, but uh so be it. Anyway, well, to me that's just like, come on. That's not, just because you've had some kind of therapy conversation where like you made your intentions clear, or you communicated that you don't want to see somebody anymore, they think they can just throw you away. And like, okay, well it was ethical the way they did it. The way they just disposed of you like a fucking it's like I don't know. I mean, that makes you feel like shit, to be honest. It goes both fucking ways, you know? It isn't just like men are fucking pieces of shit and we're the only ones that do bad things in a fucking relationship. Or we're bad people. The women in this generation in a lot of ways have had the advantage in professional positions. I know that sounds maybe certain women, the girl boss Taylors of the world. I talk about this especially because I'm up against it constantly in New York because I've managed to exist 15 years in New York as like this street urchin with no fucking money and no status. So I've been on literally hundreds of fucking dates where women will not me seriously because you know draw your own conclusions. And that's life, but aren't their lives so great? They get to travel all over the fucking place. They get to go to fancy dinners. They get to go out, I don't get to do any of that shit. Nobody fucking, I'm not on anybody's yacht. I don't get to, put to the front of the line of anything. And so we're in the city full of women that are doing great and they make money and they're kicking ass. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen when the magazine industry collapses and the tech thing is no longer the golden fucking goose that it has been for the last 20 fucking years. It's been disgusting watching those people take over our world. I hate them all. I don't think they deserve anything they have. I think they're a big mafia. And people that work at Google think they're so great. You know, oh, you must be impressive. You went to this school. This is what I mean. This is how society sifts us. And it depends what credentials you have. This is how people judge you. Did you go to Columbia? Where did you go to school? And I hate to say it, but maybe it's just because I'm a man, but it feels like women especially judge you. They believe that stuff more. If you went to Columbia, oh, fuck. If you're a professor, oh my God, he's a professor. If a woman finds out you're a professor, they're going to look at you in a completely new light. This is what I'm saying. It's like women believe, like, things they're told about you almost more than they believe, like, you. You know, it's like, if they're in a conversation with you, if they get a bad feeling or like if something is like nervous or awkward for a second, like they're going to be like, that guy was gross. He was a creep. I'm never going to talk to him again. But if they find out you're like a professor or you won some fucking award or you're a writer for some fucking TV show, then they'll fuck you just so they can say that. And then later they'll disown it and be like, well, you know, I didn't really want to, but blah, blah, blah. And I thought, what the hell? It's like they're just as human as we are, right? And yet they're like trying to make this shit into like laws and stuff. You know, like they'll ruin your career, they'll put you in jail. They'll just like, oh, he was creepy. He gave me a creepy vibe, so like we never talked to him again. It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's not easy. You make one fucking mistake, and it's like, I get nervous, because it's like disarming a bomb or something. It's like, oh my God, if I cut the wrong cable, boom, fuck. There it goes. Another one. All right, I guess I'll try again next time. I'll never talk to that person again because they think I'm like a serial killer or something. Because they're conditioning themselves constantly to like distrust us. And it's like, look, there's a long way to go between having a conversation with me for fucking 5 minutes and sleeping with me. Okay? Like, you have self-control. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like fucking courtesy. It's like, especially, with the open mic where it's like people, whatever. I don't know. I am a men's rights activist. That's how pathetic I am. Well, I don't know. It's just like, what are we supposed to do? What the fuck are we supposed to do? We've been thrown on the trash heap. We can't compete. It's self-defeating. You know what I mean? It's the women are shooting themselves in the foot in a way because all men are like low status now. We're all incels. Because we can't get a fucking job because they hired, it's like they hired everybody but us. They've been told to hire everybody but us, So we can't provide, right? That's not going to happen. We can't. Are you going to provide for us? Well, that doesn't make sense in our like, the gender dynamic that I was patterned with growing up. It was still, I think that's still wearing off. The idea that like, well, the man is supposed to be the provider and pay for everything. I think we still think of it that way, even though society has massively changed. And like these things are not as simple as they look, okay? I'm not anti-feminist. I'm not even anti-women for saying this shit. Okay? Like there are deeper things going on, right? When they're bringing women into the workforce, they're doubling the size of the labor pool, which means they can dilute the wages. so they can pay everybody less because there's more people competing for the same job. I'm not saying women should stay at home and raise the children or anything like that, but I'm saying that there are bigger reasons than just like go fucking girl power, that this shit is happening. And so don't beat us up all the fucking time. You might have to take care of us. Best case scenario, we'd have a generation of stay-at-home dads. Women will spend so much money on a fucking dog. You know how many women have fucking huge German shepherds and fucking huge ass dogs and shit? Travis Kelsey is basically a dog. I'm convinced. Taylor Swift does not want to date a man. She did that already. She's dated every fucking kind of guy you can think of. She dated John Mayer. She's dated, good writers, good musicians, movie stars, whatever. She's dated it. She wants a dog. She wants a huge, enthusiastic puppy that's just going to smile and have cute eyes, nothing behind them, nothing inside, just going to be loyal to her. And she says, the dog, Taylor, what happened? They just want that energy. They're fascinated by giant things. Oh my God, that guy was 6'5". Holy shit. I heard two women the other day on Bond Street. They were, women in their high heels. They're all in war paint mode out to pick up guys. These women are talking to each other. Blah, 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 blah. How tall was he? 6'3". Oh, my God. It's superficial. They just like big things that are irrepressible. A woman wants something that is irrepressible. And yet... everything possible is done to shut us down emotionally and to shut us down uh from succeeding and from feeling good and from feeling confident, from having any agency. I mean, how many men have any agency, any authority? How many men can pay for anything? One reason why I never went on a lot of second dates because I never paid for anything. I mean, I wouldn't make them pay for me, but I would pay for my drink, they would pay for their drink. Look, I'm progressive, okay? I'm a feminist. I believe in equal pay for everything, including the drinks. Equal pay for the jobs, equal pay for the drinks. No, I'm just kidding. If I had money, I would pay for everything. I thought I was going to be rich and I was going to have a black Amex card and people would listen to me and I was going to have power and control and influence in the culture. And I was going to be able to take care of people and do right by people. I don't want to be a fucking leech, like my brother said. My brother called me a leech. I don't want to be a leech. But we've been disempowered, We've been disempowered. We have no money. We have no agency. I live with fucking Kuzu Daddy by the grace of God. Thank God for Kuzu Daddy. He helps me out. And we're on tour. That's our next phase. We're going to Jersey. We're going to Long Island. We're taking over. We're going nationwide. Kuzu Daddy and Proctor. So yeah, should I talk more about gender and men's rights? I don't know. I mean, it's all about, like I said, it's all about what you look like. And a lot of what I'm complaining about, I guess, is attractive people. Because that is privilege. In attractive women especially. I mean, women are always saying this stuff about how they manifested things. It's like, or it's easier to have boundaries and to ask for things when people are definitely going to say yes to you. People are definitely going to, if you're used to people saying yes to you, and if you're attractive, particularly if you're an attractive woman, I mean, men are famous for saying yes, and just being stupid about that. And so if you have that coupled with everything else, it's just you have a sort of foundation to build self-confidence on that, it's very hard to relate to. You know, our sense of reality is totally different. You know, it's like you're almost a celebrity basically if you're an attractive woman. You get that much attention probably. Uh, the rest of us, it's like I barely get a compliment ever. You know, ever. You know, I've never won anything ever. Really, I won a karaoke contest for $100 once. All right, I'm gonna come over, come join me, won't you, in the smoke booth? All right, should I just keep complaining and being a woman? I don't know. Do I sound like a woman hater? I don't mean to be a hater. I love women. That's why I'm so frustrated. Is they seem to really not like me. They don't want to even talk to me. You know, it's like, what the fuck? How can that possibly be? You know, I'm not a bad person. And yet, I don't know. Not to complain, not to be a fucking. It does feel wrong, the short king thing, okay? It feels fucked up, okay? And I do want to say this because it's. Okay, growing up, it was a common joke to make, right? Like on The Simpsons, they had a t shirt, no fat chicks, right? So maybe this is just karma. You know, we grew up in a body shaming era. You know, MTV, fucking Victoria's Secret, Playboy, all that shit was the culture in the 90s. It was all about body shaming. You know, you couldn't get a job if you weren't hot. It was a meritocracy. Back people were actually hot back then. We weren't just lying to ourselves, being like saying all these people are hot who are not hot, okay? People were hot back then. We forgot how to be hot. We forgot how to make things. The world is crumbling, okay? Back when people were hot, see, I come from that era. That's why I'm still hot, okay? Because we were hot back then in the 90s. Fucking Entertainment Television, all right? Wild on the Riviera. Oh, I don't want my thing to fucking. It went. Yeah, we were hot back then. Hold on. Maybe I can. Can I talk from here? Can you hear me if I'm like this? Can you hear me? Let's try this. I hope I don't leave my. You know, like, let's make America hot again. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make it. I'm not. I don't mean to use the "Make America Great Again" template. But to be honest, Trump didn't invent it. Reagan and I don't even know if Reagan invented it. He probably didn't. He probably stole it from fucking, you know, somebody in the 50s or something. But we need to get hot. You know, it's like, okay, I'm not fat shaming. I don't think there should be fat shaming, but it's the diet. It's not our fault, okay? The diet in this country is made to make it as hard as possible to be hot. They want to make you go to Europe, you go to other countries, the people are hotter, I think. I think because they're not, you know, we have a lifestyle that's just trying to it makes it as hard as possible to be hot. See, but I mean, if you eat, you know, not totally American, it's possible. Um, Sorry, smoke them if you got them. I'm gonna do 2 hours. Yeah, so I'm. This is my He-Man. I'm probably losing all of my viewers. You know, I'm probably gaining viewers. Honestly, I probably got 10 people watching now. They're probably like, "Wow, what's this guy do? It's interesting. He's smoking." As soon as I start talking again, they'll be like, "Oh, this sucks. This guy's just fucking rambling. This geriatric millennial's just rambling." So yeah, women think that if they're nice, they think that you think that means that they want to fuck you. So they can't be nice to you. They're allowed to not be nice. You don't have to be nice. Well, I'm not saying that. Like a lot of women are nice. I'm not saying women are not nice. I'm just saying that like it's dangerous. They think it's dangerous for them, I think, to engage, or like they have this kind of like systematic approach to how they engage, where it's like you can feel that. You can feel like that moment when they decide like, okay, I don't want to or need to be a part of this anymore, and so I'm like kind of retracting from this. And it's like, I don't know, that just feels dehumanizing. You know, it's like you're not above the fucking human race. I don't know. Maybe I'm just confused, and like I do want like a world where people are able to talk to everybody else. But I don't know, man. It seems like it's very hard for people to talk to each other now. I mean, in comedy clubs, right? You can't say anything. You can't say anything. Well, I wouldn't say in comedy clubs, but like in poetry readings. In poetry readings, there's a lot of things that I mean, definitely over the last decade, I felt like there's a lot that I've self-censored because I felt like I cannot say this in front of poetry people or they're going to hate me. And yet, look at me. I'm still fucked. Okay, did I lose all my viewers? Okay, no, I still got 4 people. I got a like even. Jesus Christ. See if I don't do anything, people like that better. No, I don't want to sound like a misogynist or like I'm anti-woman at all. You know, I think, what one of the most like ironic, bitter pills for me to swallow is I feel like it's fucking I feel like I wasn't racist or sexist before. And then I feel like wokeness and the hype, whatever happened during the Trump era made me like sound that way, or like start to differentiate in that. Like now it's like first of all, I don't really like. I feel like the way that people have started to use the word woke now is they just throw it around, and people are happy to like use it like a pejorative, like, oh, that's just woke and this stupid woke, and we're separating from woke, and it's like if it does feel kind of racist because you're grouping all of this stuff under that like that's it's a big umbrella that could potentially be covering, and like I said, the ideas are I'm for the ideas, and I'm even, but it's just like it feels like it's just like the ultimate like entitled millennial Gen Z like fucking like Karen behavior. For as much as people on Twitter like throw the word Karen around, the woke people are the biggest Karens of all because it's all fucking nitpicking about just like the pronouns thing felt like it is designed to trip clumsy straight people up. It's like it's impossible for straight people to do. It's just I mean like and I mean it's not impossible, like we can do it. I'm just kidding. But it's like, it is just like this new it's kind of It's designed to make it so certain people are fluent in it and they're totally comfortable and it's not weird for them at all. And certain people are like, Jesus Christ. And then certain people, are not even gonna acknowledge it. It's just going to piss them off. So it's like, but I'm not opposed to it, but it's like it became like that was like the hallmark of the whole political movement. Is like, okay, now we have pronouns. It's like, okay, great. Well, what about, uh, now, okay, we have pronouns, but it's like, all of society is walking on eggshells and is like afraid all the time. Like that's not good. There's this whole new level of anxiety everywhere, except maybe, I mean, maybe those people, I guess, feel great. That's good. That's what it feels like. It feels like the most spoiled, like everybody who went to the Crosswinds or whatever the fuck that school is in Santa Monica. All the celebrities send their school kids there. It's like everybody who went to like a private school or like an elite school, like that's where they learn all that stuff. It's like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know, but it's like it's very nitpicky. It's very fucking. Like I said, it's like diffusing a fucking bomb, or it's like a trip. It's a tripwire. It's a tripwire can go off at any time. You say the wrong thing, boom, there goes your whole fucking career. That was the threat, really. You get canceled, right? You say the wrong thing, bam, you're canceled. And every white person, spent the past 7 years cowering in fear that they were gonna get canceled, and they virtue signaled the fuck out of the, to try to seem like they were one of the good ones, and they thought that that was politics. I guess in a certain way it is. Representation matters, but even even Hollywood, they're already starting to renege on it, and that's how it felt the whole time. Kind of, I don't know. It's just like a lot of white people trying to tell other white people to do what to do and read these books and blah blah blah. If you're not, and it's just like I don't know, man. I tried. We tried. We did it. I did it. We did it. We did what they told us to do. We did the right thing because we're good people. Okay. We repaid our karmic debt. We faced our karmic reckoning through history, right? Didn't we, everybody? Wasn't that? Isn't it over? Whew. I don't know. Yeah. So I feel like I voted for Obama twice. I was always very progressive as a child, and I was always on the extreme left, right? And I don't feel I'm not like one of these Elon Musks who's like, oh, I used to be left and now I'm like a right center. Like I definitely don't feel that way. I'm still way left, but I don't even feel like I'm allowed to participate in that, and so what am I supposed to do? I think I and so I don't know. It feels good to sort of be able to talk about this a little bit. I hope I don't sound like a fucking racist backwards. It's just like there's two sides to every story, and I don't know. Everybody's got their experience, and god damn, I mean, it did feel like my 30s. It just felt like somebody took a fucking bazooka and blew a hole right in my the whole decade. It just felt like the whole decade was lost because of fucking Trump. That goddamn Donald Trump. Tell you what it is. And we knew it was happening. That's why we didn't want to get him to get elected, because we knew that the consequences were going to be far reaching. And, you know, it wasn't, things were not as divided, things were not quite as compartmentalized. You know, and I guess that's a social media thing. Everybody's compartmentalized, and it feels like they feel okay to compartmentalize. We don't need to talk to these people anymore. You know, we don't need to talk to, you know, we're going to defriend these people, or we're going to mute these people or block these people. You know, I don't know, man. Some of the most lit people on my Facebook are the Trump people to be. I mean, that's not good. That's not really funny, I guess. But, well, fuck. I mean, oh, Jesus. I don't know. The government, I do feel like the government is just needs to be blown up and to start over with something better. I don't think we'll get something better in this country. I think you'll probably have tech assholes who are extremely right wing and like free market assholes who are also extremely right wing make the decisions. It's already happening. You know, they're sort of like keeping the parts of the, you know, they've already stacked the deck. I mean, like they have 6 Supreme Court justices. Like whatever they want to do, they're going to do. But our government just can't respond fast enough to the changes that need to happen, I don't think. You know, it's like I was saying earlier, it's like all the rental all the condos are empty, all the businesses are empty. It's like you know, the zoning laws need to be changed. We need a mass transit system in this fucking country. We need a rail system for real in this country, you know, that goes everywhere, a high-speed rail. We need to get off the fucking car thing completely. Fuck the electric cars. Fuck all of the cars. You know, like get rails everywhere and just have people riding in golf carts and scooters. I think the golf cart is the ultimate vehicle for Manhattan. They should ban cars from Manhattan, only golf carts. Everybody in Manhattan, you know, buy a golf cart and just people driving golf carts around Manhattan. It'd be perfect. And then just walk everywhere and take the fucking train. And, you know, there's just a lot. The zoning needs to be changed. No more suburban fucking planning. No more lawns. No more fucking Miracle Grow. No more Roundup. Get all of the Roundup out of the fucking, you know. No more Jack Welch. No more firing people. What was it? Paramount laid off 800 people. This is what I mean. There could be an extinction level event in the media, right? The media, look, tech is taking over everything. Okay? It's that fucking simple. Like, the studios are obsolete. Like, the magazines are obsolete. It's all fucking obsolete. We're all going in the Matrix. We're all going to have chips in our brains in 15 years, maybe sooner. People seem to want it. You know, everybody's on their goddamn phones. To be honest, this is going to sound fucked up. It was kind of refreshing seeing the Apple Vision Plus because at least people weren't doing this. You know, like the phone thing is so ugly. It's so ugly seeing people do this everywhere. At least with the Apple Vision Pro, people are like, you look like Mega Man. You know, it's a visor. I'm not into it, but like people seem to want it. You know, it seems to be all the rich people are going to suck up all the material wealth and give us a wealth in the metaverse that we have to pay for. And they're not going to give us anything real anymore. They're going to keep the real shit. They'll get to own all the buildings. They'll get to have all the sex. They'll get to all the food. We'll just be in the Metaverse Comedy Club. I'll be at the Metaverse Comedy Club open mic. If anybody wants to see my act, that's basically what this is. I should just call my channel the Metaverse Comedy Club open mic. Because take it for what it is. Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Listen to I Used to Love Her by Guns N' Roses. I mean, it's really... I'm not misogynistic, okay? It's just women are so cruel. How can they be so withholding? It's fucking crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I don't know. I guess they can sense. They know everything. They sense everything. They know everything. They know what you're trying to do. It's Valentine's Day, everybody. Do we feel great about it? Is everybody having sexual romance in their fucking lives? I hope so. You're all poets. Everybody who watches my live stream is a poet, and so poets are fucking. I know they are. Everybody's fucking everybody. That's the way it has to be. That's why we write, and that's the ultimate. It's such feeling. It's quaking, oceanic tremors of passion. I'm gonna write a romance novel, okay, on Valentine's Day. Quaking, quivering, orgasmic, gasms. Did everybody listen to Gasms, the new Smokey Robinson? Mind gasms, Valentine gasms, poem gasms. Are we having poem gasms? I hope everybody's gasming the fuck out. Wherever you are, I hope you're gasming. I hope you're gasming. And that could be up here. That could be down there. That could be anywhere. You can gasm anywhere. It's all one big gasm, ideally. And so poets be fucking. I know poets be fucking. Poets be out there fucking. Writing love poems. Look, we've created the perfect society. Everybody needs to follow our lead, okay? Quit your fucking job. Eat good food. Fuck your poet friends and write fucking poems about them and read them to each other and publish them. Read them in public. Put them on the internet. Put them on paper. The subscription printing service that you pay $59 a month to print your own printer. Printer's ink is more expensive than human blood. Did you know this? It's only a matter of time. I'm telling you. 10, 15, 20 years from now, books are going to be like vinyl. It's already happening. Books are going to be like vinyl. Anything fucking tangible, it's just going to be microplastics. That's all they make. That's all we manufacture. Microplastics. They want to suffocate you and pollute your fucking womb like Scarface with microplastics. With the microfilm. They want to plug your intestines with fucking, and I guess give you colorectal. Apparently everybody's getting colorectal because of plastic water bottles. So do not drink plastic water bottles. That's a big lobby. The big plastic water bottle fracking lobby. We are so fucked. Poets are the only ones who give a shit. Smelling the roses, everybody. Smell the roses as they go extinct. As the roses are wiped from the fucking face of the planet. As they are smeared out of existence. Stick your motherfucking face up in that. And just whiff that shit. Have unprotected sex at all costs, okay? It's free. The government doesn't want you to know this, but condoms are not any fun. The government doesn't want you to know this. That's what the DARE program was about. The DARE program doesn't want you having great sex. Or any fun at all. They don't want you to discover human life and creativity and boundless fucking energy aura flames. Okay? They don't want you having the best sex of your life. They're cops. They're racist cops. Okay? They want you putting a fucking shopping bag on your fucking penis. Because 3,000 years of civilization, this is the best we've come up with. Is a... I'm trying to think of some kind of new metaphor for that somebody hasn't used before, but I can't really do it right now. So anyway, I'm a propagandist for reckless, I don't know. There's a lot of soul in reckless behavior, as long as you're not hurting anybody but yourself. You know, I don't know. We're trauma bonding. That's survival. You know, you think, was nature, didn't they have trauma? You know, did the cavemen have trauma? Probably, right? Or were they just a utopic, caring, mutual aid society? You know, we could have mutual aid. We're humans. I think that's the thing that all of these political ideologies kind of are in denial about. And not that doesn't excuse anything, okay? We need to do better. That's why I'm out here explaining everything on earth because we're figuring it out and we need to do better. But uh we need to do better. I mean, what was I saying? Um we're human, right? I think we're in denial about that. Like fucking, white people aren't the only racist people. They industrialized it and committed horrible, 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 horrible crimes and atrocities, human rights violations beyond belief that are unforgivable. They weren't the first ones, you know, and it's still happening. That's the part that drives you insane. There's prison labor right now in this country. There's people all over the fucking world working for nothing. Most of the people in this world are poor as fuck. I'm rich compared to most of the people in this world. And I mean, talking about how much money I make, not my. I mean, obviously, I'm rich. My life, I'm the richest person I know. You know why? Because I live my life. Okay, I didn't get to college. I didn't get to be a teacher. I didn't get paid to be a teacher anyway. I didn't get to be famous or anything. But like I've lived total freedom for the last 13 years of my life, 12 years of my life. I haven't had to answer to really anybody. I do exactly what I believe in. I print my own shit. I vlog my own shit. I make the films I believe in. I make the fucking live streams I fucking believe in. I'm the fucking Alex Jones of super libtards. I'm the ultimate libtard. I love being a libtard, okay? I will be a libtard till I'm sorry. Is that insensitive? I'm sorry. I'm edgelord, okay? People love edgelord on YouTube, so I'm testing the waters with that. So anyway, yeah, it's about freedom and time, okay? Time is really all we have because it's our life. Unless you're doing something you love and you're with people and you're making money doing that, good for you, but you've probably made compromises to get there. Me, I live outside of society. I'm an open mic vagabond, drop in, guy in the back of the room, slipping out the door, crashing on the couch, in the air mattress, in the spare room, mooching, leeching. My teeth are fucked up. My teeth are in pain. Eating cheap Trader Joe's, gluten free, dairy free, junk food, snacking. It's not real food, it's snacking. Somehow I've survived on snacking. Let me show you this plant, okay? This plant. This plant was in the basement and it was totally green and it was alive. I moved it from my last house where it was still alive. I brought it up here because it was in the basement. There was no sunlight. So I brought it upstairs thinking this will be better. It'll get sunlight. I'll water it. And that's the plant. It's completely fucking dead. There's not a leaf on it. It's totally arid. It's totally dry. And that's probably about as good as I take care of myself. To be honest, if that's how good I took care of that plant, that's probably what I look like on the inside, I imagine. Because I'm a snacky person. I haven't had a salad really in since the pandemic, since before the pandemic even. Probably should do that. The Whole Foods salad bar has just gotten out of control. It used to be $8.99 a pound. It's ridiculous. The middle class is dead. Okay, so journalism is dying. All the magazines are going to be dead. They're going to be written by AI. Apparently, there's going to be no creative. All of our content is going to be made by AI. Apparently, very soon. And so we're going to be shit out of luck. All of the people who wanted to be artists. Well, we clearly need to change our economy so it's not everybody who doesn't have a job is going to die because all the, now there's going to be programmers who don't have fucking jobs. There's going to be people who are making $500,000 a year who now are not going to have a job. There's going to be journalists, they're not going to have fucking jobs. So, New York City, who knows what the fuck is going to happen, right? And I don't know. There's a lot of content people that, we're making content. I work tirelessly on my YouTube page. How much fucking, how much blood, sweat, and tears I put in my goddamn YouTube page? I've got like, look how many videos I've got. I've got over 600 videos, I think. Maybe even more. I've got hundreds, thousands of hours on YouTube of live streams, vlogs, live shows, priceless. My content library is probably worth millions of dollars easily. Easily. I put it on YouTube for free because I love my fans. I love being in contact with my fans. Mwah, thank you for the 5 likes. Mwah, thank you. Mwah, I love you. Mwah. I love my fans. I love my subscribers. I'm almost at 300 subscribers. You know that? That's insane for me. Not even 2 years ago, I had less than 100. I had probably 60 or 80 subscribers, something like that. So having 300, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but like I said, my last video, the World Book video, I don't know if Ashley just clicked it to 180 times, which is very possible, but people are watching it. So I think YouTube is starting to get its head out of its ass. I never got a Vimeo front page. I get it, okay? I don't make work that's good. I'm a process guy, okay? I'm not a product guy. I think there's too much product. Everything is too finished. It's too slick. I was never on the Vimeo front page. Scenes from a Life has always been kind of like mid, I guess. The people I knew that were like real artists did not really respect it. Eric or Jack, my brother, my parents. I don't know if my dad's ever even seen it, to be honest. I don't think my dad's ever seen Scenes from a Life, ever. I think my mom, I don't know if she's seen it either. She may have seen it. She probably did not really think anything about it. Now it's just a vlog. Now everybody's doing it. But 10 years ago, for a 30-year-old guy to be vlogging 10 years ago, that was pretty impressive. There were not that many 30-year-old guys 10 years ago vlogging, okay? I was a pioneer for 30-year-old guys in 2014. Now it's very normal for everybody to be fucking vlogging every goddamn second. But I was doing it when it was socially unacceptable, okay? When it was weird. When it was weird, like unacceptable, like stop filming us kind of behavior. Why are you filming your family? Stop. I was a pioneer in that for 30-year-old men in 2014. At the very end of the Obama era. Oh God, it was maybe the last good. Hopefully whatever's on this other side of the world war will be another golden age. I don't know. I hope, I mean, I hate to say this, but I do hope maybe somebody else will get elected, and that would be nice. But I don't know. I hope Trump doesn't get elected. Let's just say that. I hope Trump does not get elected. And because if he does, it could be dark. It could be very dark. Well, that's what we thought the first time. Who the fuck knows? We're strapped in. We're ready for the hell ride now. We've accepted that the world is like this doom juggalo gathering that like, and now we're just trying to get as much clout and attention and as many likes and just like live this, some sort of like facsimile art life. Like, let's pretend that we're, Frida Kahlo or something, even though we've, it's just because we have 30,000 Instagram followers. We get to cosplay that we're Frida Kahlo or Johnny Carson or, Joe Franklin or Ted Berrigan or Eileen Miles or insert name here. Elvis Costello, whatever. Kesha. So anyway, yeah, we are here. We're doing it. We're committed to life. I'm 39, so it's like I've already lived like, a pretty good human life. I mean, I want to live like a long time, obviously. I hope to. I plan to live like a long time. Uh, but, I've done the best I could under the circumstances. I really, the reason why I whine and complain on the internet so much is because our generation got so super fucked. 9/11 was like, I feel like they Tanya Hardinged us. We got I Tanya'd, you know? They cut our hamstring. That's not what happened to Tanya. We got, but it was like they clipped us out of the gate. They created these wars that just totally drained this country. They sent all our resources into the military, warlords, basically, into private capital, whatever, private mercenary fucking murderers, essentially, oil, whatever. And just the culture has been so corporate, and they've just rammed what they've wanted to down our throats. American Idol, Maroon 5. There's no way Maroon 5 is not a conspiracy. That's got to be some kind of fucking nepo baby cronyism. The Jonas Brothers. There's no way the Jonas Brothers are the most talented people of any assortment of people. I could get I could get 20 people from the open mic right now that are that have more talent in their pinky than any of the Jonas Brothers. Nothing against the Jonas Brothers. I'm actually not really familiar with the Jonas Brothers. But it's just like it's more about bringing people on the journey of the band now. It's like, "Oh, you helped make them a star. Kelly Clarkson, One Direction. We saw Harry Styles audition, making the boy band. We were there, we saw them, it would happen on TV. They got songs written for them. We love them, we grew up with them." People are so endeared to the corporate dog shit that they grew up with. Whether it's Justin Timberlake, Harry Styles, whatever the fucking flavor of the month is. It drives me insane because women are so product driven. You know, whatever the bubblegum like feeling based thing is of the moment, the cute prefabricated. But the music just got overly stimulating, shall we say, and formula. It's all formula. It's all giant hooks. What was it? Recession pop. I saw the videotape about recession pop. After the Great Recession, things like Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Telephone, that shit was like super overproduced, super light spectacle, costumes, characters to distract people, from the fact that we're all poor, that we don't have jobs, that we're not going to have kids, that we're not going to have houses. But we can, hey, Beyonce's rich. Feminism, yay. Girl power. Beyonce's a billionaire. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, Beyonce. You're the fucking shit, Beyonce. I wish I could have a kid. I wish I had a stable place to live in my life. I wish I had a woman who, well, respected me. Oh, I mean, Ashley is not subject to material living. But the thing about Ashley is like she absolutely knows who she is. She is very, very anchored in who she is. She knows who she is. She's confident and she's powerful. You know, she is very talented, and like even though she's in a grad school, she knows who she is, and she's always known that. You know, if you watch the interview where she talks about growing, she's always been a writer. It's the thing that she's cared about, and she's always been committed to it, and so she deserves her success. She's always known that, and she's very and you cannot, I don't know what it looks like to other people, but like I can't, if Ashley believes something, I can't convince her otherwise. You know what I mean? Like she believes what she believes. She's not just like somebody that just like goes with whatever I say. Like she absolutely like will disagree, stand up for herself. She believes what she believes, and she knows, she's confident about all of that, you know? And I do think that like there's a certain aspect of manifestation. I think, she says she'll never have a real job. And she's had jobs, this and that, but she means like as an adult, and like that may be true. She may be right, we don't know. We'll see. But maybe she'll just get to be a writer. She's that confident, she's that powerful, and she's that sure about what she wants. I mean, there is no, for me, it's not that I'm unsure of what I want, but I want a lot of things, and I have a lot of kind of antisocial kind of tendencies just based on how I was raised. And so it is, and like, to be honest, like, the path wasn't clear. I couldn't afford, or I didn't know how to navigate to get into things that maybe would have helped me. I didn't know how to, even something like acting, right? When I came to New York, I didn't really even try to navigate getting to audition for real stuff, actually. I never auditioned for plays or movies, like I should have or could have. But just like I've never been, good at, grad school. How am I, I'm gonna get letters of recommendation. I'm gonna fucking put a sample. I'm gonna spend $100 to apply. Like I'm automatically disqualified, or even the this is one reason why I do open mics, because it is kind of like this outer circuit, like it's hard for me to go to parties even and like socialize, and like I'm obviously not good at it. People don't want to talk to me. I'm better on stage. I think I'm a better host than I am a person. The sad truth. I think what I'm finding out, I'm a better host than I'm a person. People like me a lot as a host. They seem psyched about it. But I'm like, as a person, they don't even want to talk to me really, a lot of the time. And my personality is maybe made to do this, and so uh, I don't know. A part of me, it's like, I don't know. I have a self-destructing or self-defeating. I just didn't get lucky, too. I mean, that was part of it, probably, I guess. Right when I really thought I got my shit together when I was 30, and I started doing Scenes from Life, and that was it was before John Wilson and before vlogs really became ubiquitous. It felt like maybe I could be like, a leader of that, and like things were starting to happen, and that was maybe I was on public access, which really is pointless, but it felt exciting. It was a dream come true for me, even though it's basically kind of an obsolete thing, probably. I loved it. I loved the station. I loved doing it. I'm still on. I love it. But that's when Trump happened, right? It was literally the next fucking year, and so I don't know. Everything kind of got disrupted, and whatever, like I said. But I don't know. I'm just I also kind of I don't if you know if an audience if thousands of people showed up to watch me do this and they loved it, I would be thrilled. um like I'm not against having a huge audience, like I don't have to insist on being in the underground or anything. Um but I don't know, to be honest, I just don't think people are thinking originally. They're looking for concision, they're looking for clarity, they're looking for presentation, a little bit of production. They're also looking for like a sameness. The algorithm rewards like a sameness. They want all the podcasts to kind of look the same and sound the same and kind of have the same dudes with the same voices and the same setups. They want the Instagram reels to all look the same. They want the TikToks to kind of be the same. They want people to copy each other and trends to develop. And they want to reward people that are playing into the trend with views. With me, I don't know. I have kind of an anti production value aesthetic, because this is literally the. I have. It's not even necessarily a fucking choice. It's like your economics are your aesthetics, right? And so this fucking camera is literally the best camera I have to do this, right? It's not just like, oh, it looks cool and retro. It looks like shit. I know it looks like shit, but it's the best thing I have to do that job. And I think that says something, Like I'm insisting that this exists even amongst the landscape that uh would require that I spend more money and buy new stuff. And I that's just more materialism, more spending, more consumerism, more I'm not really into that. I've sort of taken an involuntary vow of poverty or something. I don't know if that is part of the reason for getting away from Ohio, for being in New York, uh, is to get away from like scarcity mindset, loser mindset. Ohio, gray, rainy. Cleveland Indians lose every year. Cleveland Browns lose every year. Cavs blow it all the time. LeBron blowing it in Cleveland. The Reds have sucked basically for a long time. It's like it's just like they want you to be miserable and to feel like nothing's ever going to work out. They want to create that kind of self-defeating worker. You have to they don't want anybody to have any agency. They want people to be passive and to be employees basically and to work hard and to shut up and to take it. And I don't know, like deep down, is it like I can't believe that I can succeed, or I have to self-sabotage, or I don't know, man. I judge people too much. I think I'm better than other people. It's been quite a night, hasn't it? Thank you for watching the live stream. It was so live. I mean, I hope I didn't offend or really piss anybody off. We gotta fix this fucking country. Okay, that's why I'm on here. We need to fix this fucking world. The animals are dying. Apparently, cheetahs are going to be extinct within 10 years. I think tigers are going to be extinct within 10 years. Maybe that's misinformation, but I saw this on TikTok, so I believe it 100%. Dan Aykroyd unplugged on UFOs. No, that was a different video. But yeah, apparently cheetahs and tigers are going to be extinct within 10 years. So, to me, fuck the human beings. I don't. But this is what I mean by we're human beings. Is like We could have our cake and eat it too. We could have 10 billion people on this planet thriving, writing poetry, traveling, having a good time, having a good life, having health insurance, taking care of each other. We could do that. But instead, um, we live in a war planet where we're enslaved to the people at the top, and they brainwash us into working for the system, fighting to keep this system, uh, um, not questioning it, going to work, watching the Super Bowl, worshiping our genetic super lord, Walmart, Taylor Travis dream couple, right in the center of the country, Kansas City. It's not coasts. It's not San Francisco. It's not New York. It's not the elites. It's the heartland. This guy's just like you. It's a love story. Baby, just say yes. And I think we can make America great again. Donald Trump fucked it up, and I think we no. Well, it's not about. It's just about the world is gonna collapse. The fucking climate is collapse. It's like we're all going to die. There's a reason why all these systems are failing. Journalism's failing. Fucking everybody. Paramount firing all their fucking people. It's like everything is collapsing. No one can figure out it. And so we could theoretically find a way to make this sustainable, right? We could do it. It's very possible. But they don't want us. They won't let us. This is what I mean by like we're human. It's like we will probably go extinct just because we cannot change our foibles and our greed. The greed of a few people and just people falling in line, people getting in line behind just whatever the rules tell them to do, or misinformation, or I don't know. I don't know why there isn't already a society just like strike, walk out. People always talk about eat the rich. It's no one's doing that. I don't see anybody eating rich people. I wouldn't want to eat anybody. I don't want to eat anybody ever. I don't want to do that. But like uh I'm all for nonviolent action as well, but I don't even see that happening. You know, I think that like that's a way of diffusing the activism. It's like people get divided because they're nitpicking all over these little issues. They don't know which faction they belong to. Are they L? Are they G? Are they B? Are they T? Are they Q? Are they are they whiteness? Are they what are which are they white liberals? Are they hippies? Are they where it's like everybody are they um libertarian? Nobody fucking knows. Not that any of that matters. Maybe we should just get rid of all the well, not the the political distinctions. I mean, the parties, the two-party system. Everybody's sick of the fucking political system in this country, but they can't change it. People complain about, oh, they have to commute, they have to go back to their office. It's like, well, quit your job. Don't go. You know, take a fucking risk. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what I feel like I do and have done my whole life. I was taught, I guess I didn't really have a choice. I don't know that I could, I don't know. If somebody offered me like the right position, maybe if I would love to have a sinecure position. If somebody could get me a sinecure position or like an honorarium, like for the right thing, I think I'd be a great fit. Like I clearly would be useful probably under some circumstance, but I don't. I also think the economy does not want to value the things that I'm good at. I'm a threat. Anything that I'm good at, gathering people in person, community, you know, um, positivity, promoting people to take their own life into their hands. That's all, music, poetry, life, love, peace, chemistry, relationships forming, bonding, friendships, thinking, encouraging people to think. They don't want any of that. They don't want to incentivize any of that. They want Nike commercials, and they want absurdism. One thing that I noticed is basically kind of an Adult Swim sense of humor took over. This is why they started hiring Tim and Eric to do commercials. All those Old Spice commercials and shit. But everything, even fucking Geico commercials, had like Vikings in them. Every commercial was like Family Guy. Because it's like, if they have absurd comedy, they can get you to buy shit. It's not tied to anything. It's just it's not political. It doesn't mean anything. It's a way of it's meaningless. It's just a distraction. It's just like it's frivolous. They're gonna get you to say yes to whatever it is because it's just silly, and there's not really any stakes. Um, Absurdity just took over sense of humor. Kind of stupid. It's not really about politics, or you know in the 90s there was kind of an activist sense to comedy, along with grunge and things like that. Lilith Fair, coffee house kind of culture, open mic culture, flannel. It was cool, Pearl Jam or whatever. It was cool to sort of be vegan, Portland kind of, right? All of that. But now everything is sort of an anti-political, you know, uh, bothering people with that kind of discomfort. Um, so I don't know, man. We're out here, we're live streaming, we're doing the best that we can. I thought we had a great show. You know, um, it was huge. The shows the last couple weeks. I mean, last night I think was 47 people, or the week before was 47, I think, and last night was 5 hours, and the week before was 5 plus hours. So it's like we're getting a lot of people signed up. I mean, that was even with the bad weather. There was this big storm. I always get fucked with the weather with these gigs, almost always. And so it's like, that could have fallen on any night of the week, and it chose Monday. I think I mean, I had a lot of no shows because of the weather. I imagine. I had a lot of people cancel. I mean, people cancel every week. That's just natural. You can't really do anything about that. You're always going to have 5 to 10 people cancel. But, if the weather does, like last night was supposed to be potentially 13 inches of snow. So, it could have been way dead. It was the Valentine's Day. So I always want these shows to be big. And the thing is, if there's a time where it's gonna get really big, it's gonna be this time of year. Because this time of year was the time when we literally had 60 fucking people in the room or more. And so even though these shows have been big shows, it's like it's still not quite, like people sitting all over the floor and you can't even get across the room or anything. We'll close on this, the mirror effect. That's kind of always a fun playing with the mirror. Um, can you see it? I guess you can't really see it. It's behind the yeah. Yeah. So I do look at it that. I know other people might look at it like just an open mic, but to me, it is a huge, basically a talk show or variety show. I want everybody to do the best that they can do. And I love having all the writing available online for people and all of the work. I hope that people feel good about being a part of the huge archive, because I think it's just a valuable archive for the city, even, to have this catalog of performers. I've got, I think it's something like 120 videos. They're all at least, they're all basically 3 hours. So it's hundreds of hours of open mic. And, I try to make it a huge kind of good thing for people, even online on YouTube, to watch. And so, um, I'm doing what I can, going to these other open mics to try to recruit people to come in and just get word of mouth going, because I would like it to. I don't. It is such a huge job that it is hard work. I mean, dry January really fucked us. To be honest, people take that seriously, and like people were not spending as much money because it was dry January. A lot of people were ordering seltzer and stuff like that. And now that it's February, things have picked right back up. So we're doing great. But and it's nice. I mean, I love having the weekly thing. That's just like this. It's good. It's just like we always touch base there. It keeps us sharp. It keeps us, running. We get on stage, and that's good. And now we're gonna get out to more other stuff, and so this year, hopefully, I mean, I don't know, man. There is a point to all this. Like the point is to like create, like I think we are the culture. I wish the media, if there's gonna be a such thing, maybe there should just be a greater network of us kind of on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. This is the media. I think we have to look at it that way. You have potential of reaching as many people on YouTube as a YouTuber, as The Tonight Show. Probably, a lot of these people have more. More people are watching probably Theo Vaughn at this fucking point than Jimmy Fallon. I hate to say. No, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Not that I really have a dog in that race, but so I don't know. I am such, I romanticize New York and all of that legacy media stuff. That's kind of my, I don't know, foible or cosplay, or just like it's one of my guiding things. And so it's like, getting in the New York Times has always been a dream of mine. That's something been trying to manifest for a long time. Getting in the New Yorker, if I could have anything to do with NBC or 30 Rock, if I could have work at 30 Rock or go to 30 Rock, I think I'd be a great guest on, any of the late night shows. Like I could be a Harvey Picard type, character, local public access, open mic poet, street poet, with some commentary. I'd love to be on CBS. I'd love to do anything, on Broadway. Just all of that kind of dumb shit. It's all about kind of living those kind of obsolete, right? Like all these dreams are kind of obsolete. It is all online. I mean, I hate to say it. Like it's still in real life. It's still in real life, but like these things don't mean what they meant. And so it's a gold rush, really. If you can get the audience, that's the part I haven't been able to figure out. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why my videos are long, sloppy, boring, meandering. Uh, I think they've got a lot of beauty if you watch them closely, but no, people don't want to watch, a slow, avant-garde, choppy, messy film of your life that's 400 hours long. Like nobody wants that. I mean, they should. It's all there. Watch my scenes from my life. Okay, so go on the fucking playlist and watch it, because you'll see my whole life. And that's what I leave this world. That's what I will leave this world. My poems and my scenes from my life and my live streams. So thank you for watching. I've only got 10% battery, so I'm probably gonna sign off. I gotta eat and things. But I mean, thank you. But see, so the thing right now is like these online stores. So if we are the fucking media, we should coordinate with each other. People, people with Instagram, you have 30,000 followers, you have 100,000. It's like That's platform. That's views. That's visibility. That's what everybody's looking for. That's clout or legitimacy, sort of, in a way. I don't know. What are the new brand legit? What is the next kind of New Yorker gonna be? Is it gonna be fucking? You can't know it when you're living among it, I guess. But um, yeah, we're all doing it. We're all fucking online. We're all posting. We're all creative. You don't need to hear me talk about it, I guess. This is the future. It's all going to be amateur citizen journalists. It's all going to be firsthand. We're all just going to be watching TikToks of local things. That's the reason why I don't think TikTok is necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I think it's a good thing. I think the US government doesn't like it because it is sort of subtly changing people's minds about socialism, or things that they don't want you to be supportive of in this country. They don't want you to support mass transit. They don't want you to be anti-car culture. They don't want you to be uh, noticing that Hollywood is just trying to control everybody or blah blah blah. Um. Anyway, I got to get off now because now I'm just kind of rambling. And thank you for watching. I'll be on again soon. Check me out Thursday at 96 Tears on Avenue A. I'm doing it. It's going to be a dope show, actually. It's like this kind of true punk rock poetry show. It's a benefit for Jesse Rifkin, who owns Bowery Electric and Niagara and some of the other clubs in East Village. And I think he's been around East Village like a long time. He's kind of an icon. And so it's a benefit for him. And he's going through some medical problems. And it's Billy Lamont. Shout out to Billy Lamont. Amazing poet. Oh, I feel like a special kinship with. He performed at the open mic last year. It was amazing. And so this will be a really cool reading on Thursday. It's actually like kind of a pro ass reading, so I'm super honored and stoked to be about it. I really got to bring my A game for that. And then Sunday, oh my gosh, I'm honored. I'm reading at the Word Shed at PT Knitwear, one of the best series. Really, she's doing a great job with that series. She really has smart curation. And I appreciate being, I mean, it's an amazing bill. And it's kind of I hope that I don't massively fuck up. I've got to pick really good stuff to read because Alicia Ostreicher is on the bill, who is actually known. It said that I looked on Wikipedia. It said that Kurt Cobain's journals, his published journals, have a poem by Alicia Ostreicher in them. So she's on the reading, and then Lonely Christopher as well, who's also great local poet, New York poet, and so I'm super honored to be on that. And I gotta bring my A game for that, and then I got two readings next Wednesday as well. So we're rolling through February. We've got a lot of fun stuff, a lot of poetry stuff. So I got my new book. This is what I did last week, and I don't know if I did a live stream last week, but I've got a new book that I just finished. Well, I'm kind of revising it. I'm in like my galleys, so I've got my galleys of my new book. I can't find it. Let's see if I have one. Fuck. Where is it? Where is it? Uh, I think I'm gonna call it War Commercial. I might the title. I mean, it's either gonna be War Commercial or Casbah Doggerel. I'm not sure. Maybe you can vote. But this is one of my most substantial books. That's 60 pages, and it's kind of interesting. It's a little different, slightly, than my other books. It kind of covers more time. It picks up where Central Park left off, my last book, in July last year, and so it goes till very recently until February. And so it kind of covers this wide span of time, the height of summer, kind of through winter, and so it's got a lot of interesting, you know, Weezer stuff. It's got um, Ashley stuff, of course. It's got, and then it's got a lot of war stuff because there's wars going on, and we don't. I mean, who knows what the fuck is coming? Maybe. I mean, probably nothing big, I guess, but I don't know. The thing with Pearl Harbor, the fact that Pearl Harbor came out 3 months before 9/11, and Pearl Harbor was sort of a 9/11 like event, and they really got these, they got Josh Hartnett, they got Ben Affleck, they got Kate Beckinsale, they got the hottest people, they got Michael Bay, who directed Victoria's Secret commercials, and it's like, it was kind of priming people, I think. It was, I mean, like, TikTok and things have got me thinking, I guess, in this kind of causal relationship, kind of conspiracy theory thinking way. But Michael Bay directed Armageddon, uh, Pearl Harbor. Those were sort of like pre-visualizations of 9/11 in a lot of ways. And I think that, Pearl Harbor in particular, it's all about these hot people fucking going and kicking ass. And it's like, but also dying and, fighting in the war. And it's like, and then 9/11 happened. It's like, uh, I think these movies are kind of commercials for war. And so, my poems are commercials for life. They are commercials during the war for life. The war is happening, and then my poems like interrupt the war, and they're like commercials that interrupt the war for life. And so, I don't mean my book to be a commercial for war. It's more about how, I don't know. It feels like we're being primed or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm being insane. What led me to believe that? Is it because I've been watching all these? Did some war movie come out recently or something? Why am I thinking this? What's leading me to believe this? So anyway, I don't know. I think it's got a lot of. I'll probably be reading from this at. I'm trying to get it finished for these readings so I can take it and distribute it to people. But it's got the poem I read. This is basically my books are what I read at open mics and at readings that I do. So everything that I read at an open mic is probably something that I feel like worked. And so it's like this has got my poem from the marathon, God Mode. It's got the poem I read at Hot People Reading Poetry. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Hot People Reading Poetry. It's got the poem I read at Secret Pete's. Shout out to REG. About Hemingway being at D-Day. It's got poems I read at the Brooklyn Rail reading. So it's and just various places here and there. So it's things that may be. That's part of what I hope. People things I've read at KGB, obviously, of course. So I hope that's exciting for people when they get the book to be like, oh, I've heard this, or like I saw it here. Because to be honest, I don't read the stuff twice usually. I usually just read stuff. I try to read new stuff every time because the way I look at it, KGB is the Tonight Show, and it's like the 10 minutes is the monologue, but instead of doing a monologue, I read a poem. So the poem is topical. It's about my life. It's sort of chatty, um, funny, whatever. And so you always got to write new material for your show, for your late night show. And so, but I want people to be able to spend time with it and actually read it and stuff as well. And so this is my new chapbook war commercial. I'm still designing the cover. So look for that. Buy it from my online store. I've got to set up an online store somehow. Because if I could sell my book, the idea now, build an audience online and then you sell your stuff. That's basically how people are making money. And so my goal that I'd like to manifest for the year is building an audience through my vlogs, live streams, the open mic, whatever, and then direct them to a place where they could buy maybe T-shirts and my books, essentially. My zines $5 to $10 a piece, my books $10 to $20 a piece. So if I had 100,000 people following me. You know, I sold 10,000 books. That would be, a lot of money. That's how we're making it, right? In the hustle economy that they forced us into, where we're battling out in the Thunderdome gladiatorially, entrepreneurially to the death of the free marketplace. Thank you for watching. Greed is good, everybody. Always be closing. It's fuck or walk. Have a good night. Go back to the beginning if you are just now tuning in. And we'll see you Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, maybe at an open mic near you. We're coming to Jersey. We're coming to the Jersey Shore very soon. We're invading Jersey very soon. Look for me and Kuzu Daddy. We're coming to Long Island. We're coming to Jersey. We're coming to Brooklyn very soon. Thank you for watching. Good night. Good night. Thank you for what it is.